Kinda creepy there, dude. Welcome back to my top 10 worst movies. Today we have number 7, Half and Half, No Dairy. Released in 2022, it chronicles the journey of a man and woman united by fate. Or the lottery. There's no dialogue, except a little bit, in a couple scenes. The film couldn't quite decide. You got this homeless guy living outside a grocery store. He goes in to get food, but the clerk denies him service. There's nothing to indicate he was asking for it for free. So it's like, he might actually have some money, but he can't even buy the food. Okay. He goes to the freezer aisle to cool off, and the same clerk kicks him out. So he goes outside and starts hitting some sick moves. They don't mind him dancing out front with a boombox, they don't mind him sleeping out there, but they do mind if he tries to buy some food. Okay. This young lady pulls up with who I assume is her father, who parks in the fire lane with his hazards on like a douchebag. BMW drivers, am I right? The girl clearly gets beat on, so she daydreams about running away. The homeless man's dancing amuses her though, enough that she leaves him a tip, which he thanks her for the next time he sees her, even though it was clearly a $1 bill. Your dad looks Strick? That awesome rapper who was on Disposable Arts? The father and daughter's routine is always the same. He comes out and goes through her phone while she digs in the bags collecting coupons. The dad is obviously super controlling, and I guess he checks her phone to make sure she's not hanging out with boys. Even though if she was, she could just delete the evidence, but whatever. The homeless guy converts to Islam. For the most part, we're not told how much time is passing, so I have no idea how long he's been out here. And it's incredibly unrealistic that the cops never bother him. He's living outside the store. Then again, the father never gets ticketed for parking in the fire lane. So, I can only conclude that the police don't exist in this world. Anyway, the homeless guy offers to pay for their groceries. How much money do you have, sir? Oh, $10. Somehow I don't think that's enough. He grabs a snack the dad was buying and puts it back on the belt when the total hits $10. Also, cigarettes? Cigarettes? Of course he can't just go, "Sir, I'd like to buy that $10 worth of groceries for you." Then this cartoon crap couldn't happen where they get in a tug of war and the bag busts open. Classic. Some little girl, some random unsupervised little girl, gives the homeless guy a 2-liter soda. He stops her from walking away and drinks the whole thing in front of her. What? Anyway, dad finds a pic in the girl's phone of her and some friends, one of which is a boy. So he smacks her one and throws out her belongings. Horrible, man, just horrible. Back to the homeless guy. Of course this idiot has to pee now after drinking an entire 2-liter. Who does that? He rushes to the bathroom but is occupied, so he goes behind the building where some teenagers are hanging out in a truck. One of them knocks the homeless guy in the head and pours beer on him and he wets himself. So, who are these a-hole kids? The owner's son and his friends? Just some random hoodlums? I mean, I know he was pissing on the property, but that's assault and battery, yo. Now it's all sad with sad music as he goes in the bathroom to dry off. It's a multi-stall, by the way, so I don't know why it was locked. Maybe it was closed for cleaning. He finds the girl's stuff, and it turns out she was collecting coupons to try and win a $1 million lottery. We see her name is Amira as written on the pamphlet. But put that aside for a second. Isn't gambling haram? Is smacking people haram? Our hero goes coupon hunting and comedy ensues. Pretty funny stuff. On the next trip, Amira leaves a note for the homeless guy telling him to split the pie with her if he wins. On the trip after, she leaves another note asking what he'll do if he wins. And I just want to take a second to appreciate how well this movie is shot. I know I put it on a worst movies list, but seriously, this is hands down the best cinematography in any of the films on the list. The guy prepares a drawing to show Amira what he'd do with the money. And apparently he wants to run away with her. Does he have a crush on this girl now? Is that why he got the haircut? Yeah, I'm trying to look good for you, baby. This is pretty creepy. What the heck am I supposed to make of that? You don't know jack about this girl. You don't even know how old she is. Apparently he was joking though, and he actually wants to buy a house with, an airplane.
I'm gonna keep my eye on you.
The next time they see each other, we see the dad's been beating on her again. She gives the homeless guy a note with just her name and number.
I don't have a phone.
Isn't that illegal?
The day of the prize claim deadline, Amira's dad finds a text from her aunt saying, "Mike said he had a great time with you," but it was a typo and she meant to say us. Failure. As this happens, the homeless guy actually gets all the numbers. Amira's dad speeds off and the homeless guy chooses to try and save her instead of going in the store to cash in. I've made some cracks about this guy, but that's very noble. Dad drives to the back alley and pimp slaps her talking about, "Sick of your shit." Homeless dude runs up on the dad and shoves him on the ground like he's gonna punch him, but doesn't do it. He opens the passenger door and it's revealed that the girl is, engaged? Is that why the dad was so mad he thought she was stepping out on her fiance? Or maybe she's married. Is this guy her husband actually, and not her dad? Whatever, the movie has no dialogue, so draw your own conclusion.
He does exist!
Homeless guy gets arrested. He gets out eventually, but let me explain what happens. He's in an orange t-shirt and pants, not even an actual jumpsuit like one you can get from any costume store or freaking Amazon. They held him for 72 hours, but I guess the guy he attacked didn't press charges, so he just leaves. He may be free, but he missed the deadline to collect the prize, so that sucks. He goes to the park and grabs a half-eaten burger out the trash.
Delicious.
Then he starts praying, presumably that the burger doesn't kill him. But another homeless guy shows up who he had a fight with at the start, and has also been harassing him throughout the movie. He eats the burger and tries to fight with our protagonist, who instead gives him his watch.
Huh?
At this point, I don't even care to expend any brain power trying to figure out what that means. He goes to a church parking lot and learns that the deadline's been generously extended by a whole month. The other guy follows him to give him his clothes? Is he Jesus? Homeless guy borrows a phone to text a mirror that they won, and it's here we learn his name, Adam. Awfully late for that, but sure.
Nice to meet you.
The husband-dad gets rear-ended, and while he's distracted, Amira gets the courage to run away in a cathartic manifestation of her recurring daydream. She goes to meet with Adam to collect her half of the million, and that's how the film ends. These two deserve a happy ending. I have no complaints about it. Now, I could not conclude this video without addressing the controversy. The film faced backlash upon release, as some Muslim audience members felt it portrayed negative stereotypes. Others felt differently, insisting that the film portraying these harsh realities boosted its credibility. This might be a surprise, but I'm not a Muslim woman. I know, but I have to agree with the latter sentiment. This stuff happens regardless of the religion or lack thereof of the people involved. A movie doesn't just not deserve to exist because some people are worried what a bigoted person might think. If someone hates a group of people, I guarantee a movie with the character in that group who's a nice person isn't gonna make them stop. This is something real women go through, and there's no reason their experiences shouldn't be highlighted. With that said, the movie is weird. Like a real director was high on crack type of movie. You know what, no, scratch that. I've seen a lot of movies that felt like the director was high, but this one feels like the movie itself is high. It's like it was written by a robot, or an alien. Some non-human entity whose only knowledge of the human world is like Fleischer cartoons. The reason it's ranked above internet dating is because that movie at least made me laugh a few times, but there are elements in Half and Half that are well executed. In fact, I'd argue that a better movie could have been made with this same concept. By the way, I like the idea of storytelling without dialogue. I've always thought that was cool. The cartoons I grew up watching did that sometimes, but it takes serious talent to pull off. Without it, we get a lot of awkward, exaggerated interactions, and plenty of the interactions are just weird on their own, like the soda thing, or this mysterious hobo who stalks our main character. I still don't know what his deal is. The best part of it has to be the camera work. It is really good. The soundtrack is well done too. It has a delicate, whimsical charm that, in my opinion, helps give the movie a cohesive identity. Overall though, not a very enjoyable experience. Being an indie film, I'm sure the director put a lot of love into bringing his vision to life. Unfortunately, it just didn't really translate to a good movie. Maybe next time.